Tonight, WJZ is investigating conditions for children held in the Baltimore County Detention Center. It's an issue the County Public Defender's Office has been raising for years, saying life inside is not suitable for children. A bill called the YES Act would change state laws so children wouldn't be sent to adult jail right away. But this week, that bill died in committee for the 13th year in a row. Jessica Albert joins us here tonight. She spoke with parents whose children have been inside that jail. And Jessica, you learned the county is now investigating the conditions inside.
Yeah, that's right, Vic. What we've learned here is that Baltimore County Public Defender's Office sent a letter to the Baltimore County Department of Corrections earlier this month discussing their concerns for juvenile inmates. In response, the Department of Corrections said it would take a look at conditions in the jail, but that's not enough for parents of the kids that are inside. Tonight, you'll hear from two parents who say their children suffered inside the jail. They want reform right away. The Baltimore County Jail, a facility that houses adults and juvenile offenders charged as an adult.
It shouldn't be a process that adults go through, let alone a child. In
Maryland, by law, children as young as 14 who are charged with certain crimes are automatically charged as an adult and are first sent to adult detention. Serene Holmes' son spent about 40 days in the Baltimore County Jail in 2019 when he was 17 years old. She says it's no place for a child.
He was on a phone call with me, and he said, if I have to stay here, I'm not going to be able to do this, and I'm not going to be able to make it home.
After that call, Holmes says her son was placed on suicide watch.
For like 92 hours with nothing but a blanket, a plastic blanket at that, with no clothes, and told he couldn't talk to me.
Conditions for children in the Baltimore County Jail have been a concern for the Baltimore County Public Defender's Office for more than a decade. The office raised concerns back in 2018, citing issues such as inadequate health care and education for the juveniles, that the adult inmates weren't being kept separate from the younger ones, and that the kids were being placed in solitary confinement. Candace Dickens says that's what her son went through during his time behind bars back in 2018.
My son was also on 23 and 1. What that really means for people who don't know is that for 23 hours you're in confinement, and that can last from weeks to months, and then you get out for 1 hour.
Public Defender Michelle Kim says in 2018 some of the concerns were addressed, but not enough progress has been made since.
There was no kind of institutional shift in terms of what happened to these kids. So the exact same problems that were happening in 2018 are happening right now.
So earlier this month, the Public Defender's Office sent the Department of Corrections a letter raising their concerns. They received a letter back on March 16th saying the director of the Baltimore County Department of Corrections hadn't found any of these issues at the jail, but would do an investigation into them. Kim hoped the Youth Equity and Safety Act, also known as the YES Act, which would ensure children are sent to juvenile jail, would solve this issue. But the bill remains stalled in the General Assembly for the 13th straight year. Kim says there is an easy fix to this problem: to have county leaders change their protocols and send juveniles to juvenile detention first instead of adult detention. Holmes says this and the passage of the YES Act would have made a world of difference for her son.
So if he was in a children's facility, he would have had a mental health service. The YES Act would have allowed them to start somewhere where they could have been helped.
And the Baltimore County Department of Corrections says its investigation into the jail will be complete next month. We did reach out to the county executive's office about this matter. We received a statement saying they are reviewing the letter sent by the Public Defender's Office and are evaluating current policies, and they plan to provide a thorough response. Vic?